engines. This is the Women's Motorsports Network. From dirt track nights to the bright race lights, from the garage to victory lane. Women are rising, chasing the dream with horsepower running through their veins. Women's Motorsports Network. Hear those engines roar. Stories of courage, speed, and heart, like you've never heard before. Fuel her future, fuel her dreams. Every lap we celebrate. Women's Motorsports Network. Let's hit the track. Let's hit the track. Women's Motorsports Network. Connecting and celebrating women in motorsports. One story at a time.
You know what racers need? Equipment that keeps up. Freedom Race Lifts has created the first ever line of battery-operated vehicle lifts for race cars. Their patented system auto-locks at any height. They are portable, easy to use, and trusted by champions. Designed with racers in mind, they deliver professional-grade equipment to your own garage. Built tough, built smart, and built for you. Visit freedomracelifts.com to see the growing list of options. And use code Melinda to receive a special discount. Drivers, start your engines and bring the thrill of the track into your life with Pit Crew Creations. We design unique, custom motorsports-inspired decor and accessories for fans who live life in the fast lane. From personalized mugs to stylish shirts, bags, and journals, every piece is crafted to match your love for racing. Whether it's for your home, your style, or the perfect gift, we've got you covered. Don't just cheer for the race, live it. Visit Pit Crew Creations today and shift into gear with designs as unique as your passion. You can find us on Facebook at Pit Crew Creations or on Etsy at pitcrewcreationsshop.etsy.com. Pit Crew Creations, fueled by passion, crafted for you. Hello, everyone. This is Melinda Russell with the Women's Motorsports Network podcast. And my guest today is Anissa, and I'm going to let Anissa say her last name when she gets started. I don't want to butcher it, and I butcher names way too often, Anissa, so I hopefully got your first name right. I want to welcome you to the show. I'm excited for you to be here because we're going to talk about something that everybody needs to hear about and learn about. And so welcome to the show. Would you start by telling me a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. So, I answer to anything close to when people say my name, but it's Anissa Bezanson. Just FYI, my son races, and I'm usually the one I go up to the announcers to help them know how to say the name.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, my name's Anissa. I'm an audiologist. And so basically, I know a lot about hearing, and most audiologists go into like diagnostics at an ENT office or hearing aids. And then there's a sliver of hearing conservation for basically, I'm an occupational audiologist. So I worked for a company that would go into companies where if their employees were at risk for hearing loss due to the loud noise they were in, OSHA requires them to have a hearing conservation program. And a lot of companies would hire us to go in there and do the program, which was annual hearing tests and training about hearing loss and fittings of hearing protection. So that's the main thing I've done for like 30 years. So,
okay, awesome.
And
how did that transition you into motorsports? I know your son races, but it had to start before that.
Yeah. Well, it didn't start into motorsports until he started racing. We're a first generation race family. He started quarter midgets when he was 11. We didn't start before that because we didn't know about it, which in some ways was probably a good thing. And it just ended up being his thing. So by the time, we were done with that, he was doing, 3 classes because, if you're going to go on the weekend, why do 1? Anyway. So, then he moved up to sprint cars, which was a whole nother level of loud. And what do I say? The awareness of wearing hearing protection, the lack of awareness like frightens me. So it was loud, and because of what I did, I have access to like the good hearing protection. I don't mean like more protective, but more convenient. And so I brought my kind of like my suitcase full of like good hearing protection. So I went up to the stands and I'm offering it to all our race family friends. And I usually hear, no, I'm used to the noise, or I already have hearing loss, it's too late. And so really watching the race and seeing so many people have so much exposure. And honestly, a one-time dose like that isn't a big deal, but these are race families that are around it, from, some of them from birth on, because they're either racers or racers and a race family. And then another thing I saw, my son has a custom earpiece, so I know it's blocking out as much as he can, when it's connected to the receiver. But I saw kids just using the earbud, not blocking out anything, and those are so loud. So anyway, so I went through about 5 years of going to races and doing from sprints to legends to super late models, and just cringing inside, knowing what I know. And I know a lot of people would do something different if they knew what I knew. So I started Auditory Defense, and one of the things I started with is getting some objective data, because like doing a noise dose study, because if I just say, oh, it's loud, wear earplugs, I wanted information that I could give that a racer could relate to. And I can go more into that, but that's where it started. I just, yeah.
Well, and they can't see it happening.
Exactly.
Okay. So if you can see something happening to your body, like, I don't know, like dirt or burns or whatever it could be, but you can't see hearing loss. And so you don't think it's happening until it's too late.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And one of the things I like to do is training. And I've had the privilege of being able to, at some of the workshops like Dome and RPM and Warpa, I've been able to speak, and I've been able to present some of the things I thought were useful. And I get, for people who listen, they are often surprised, and it seems to make a difference. And so regarding seeing inside, I actually have a picture. And basically, I'd like to tell you what's happening inside, because I think it's impactful.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Okay. So we've all experienced when you're around something loud and then your ears are ringing, or they feel muffled the next day. So what's happening is in your inner ear, there's these hair cells. And if you think of them of like blades of grass, let's say you have this beautiful lawn, and the kids keep taking a shortcut, and you can see like the grass is trampled down. You tell them to stop. Well, if they stop long enough, those grass blades are going to pop back up and recover. That's what is happening when you are overexposed to noise. Those hair cells are fatigued. And so you give them rest and they pop back up. But what if those kids kept walking on that grass, the same area? Those blades of grass are just going to go away, break off. And that's what's happening, where repeated exposure is what wears down those hair cells, and they break off. And so I have a picture of what they look like inside. So first I'll show you, these are the hair cells.
Okay.
Okay. And this is what they're supposed to look like. And then,
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
There's
And
nothing
so,
there.
yeah. And if you see, it's kind of like a snail. As you coil farther in, you see there's still some hair cells left. But what it affects is the high pitches first.
Okay.
And so a lot of people don't realize that they have a hearing loss, because a hearing loss in the high pitch area, it's like hearing speech, but with missing some of the treble. So you can still hear people talking. So you think your hearing's normal, but you often hear like, oh, I can't quite tell what they're saying, or they start having problems in background noise. So, just like you said, like you don't know what's going on in there. And when I show you that, it hopefully, like no one told you that, correct?
No, and about how like that picture you showed, and we'll want to make sure we put a copy of that picture in with our show notes, so people that are listening can also see what you showed me. But about how long of exposure, I mean, is that a few years, a lot of years?
That's a good question. I don't know quite with that one. And also I have other pictures where you see before it even gets to that point where there's still some hair cells. And when I give you the imagery, so I can include that one.
Okay.
Because the first picture, you can see some of them are broken off, but some of them are still there. So, so good question, but I actually don't know.
Okay. I would think that it would depend on the person and where, like, is it once a week for a few years? I think it would depend. Every person would be different, probably.
Yeah, this is probably years and years of repeated exposure. And then,
but think about it, like you said, if the dad raced, or even if the grandpa raced, how many years that would be? Because I have a lot of people I interview that the grandpa raced, the dad raced, and now the girl is racing.
Yeah. And I cringe inside that, like, there's so much more known about hearing loss and how it happens now, that there's no reason why this generation has to end up like the other ones, or like the grandpas. And so I would like to get the education out there. And also I'll have to say that another important piece, like my perfect program that I would want to tell everyone in the race community, is basically show them that that's what's happening. So if you have the ringing or the muffled, they're fatigued, and that should be a warning sign, like, oh, I need to protect myself more because I know what's going to happen if it continues. And then the next piece is making sure they have the right hearing protection. For example, the foam plugs, they are completely effective and they're very affordable, but I literally train people how to put in earplugs, and I'd say 70% of the people don't put them in right. And so I always recommend a push to fit. So I'll show you. I got my goodies. So this is a push to fit. And there's lots of different brands. And then I like the ones with the cord. So I find everyone found the one that they like, and you got to pull your ear up and back because your ear canal is curvy. And then at a racetrack, convenience, the more convenient you make it, the more likely you are to use it. So a push to fit with a cord, and there's lots of different brands of those push to fit, and there's no one that everyone likes the best. So one of the things I've done is I do fittings, and we make sure they find one that they can put in their ear. Sometimes it's not the right size and they have small ear canals. A lot of times it's just a simple, like they didn't know to pull their ear up and back to get it in. So to make a difference in the race community understanding, I want to know what's going on in there, the warning signs, and then have the right product. And these push to fit earplugs, you can't just go find a bunch of them easily. Usually you have to buy a box of 100.
Mhm.
And so, but if you know, if you're a racer and you
Yeah.
can just put the box in the race trailer, you'll use them. So, so that's one of the things.
Yeah. And sometimes the racetracks sell those, but not always. And so
Yeah.
if you
Well,
have them handy, just like when we
yes,
had the mask, had to wear the mask, you know, if you have them
exactly.
handy, you're going to do it.
You know, every track I've been to makes an effort, which really makes me happy. But what I typically see is the foam plugs and the red kind of standard earmuff, which I see parents making an effort trying to get the earplugs in kids' ears, and they're not meant for kids. And then those typical red earmuffs, they may fit on like a kid's head, but there's not enough resistance in that band to cover it. Now I have seen kid versions of them, so I'm glad there's something. But that's another piece of my business is I wholesale to racetracks, and I've narrowed it down to 3 products. If you carry 3 products, it'll cover the whole family from baby to adult.
Okay.
And yeah, and I have one earmuff that I love that it'll fit like 90% of the people there. It's an earmuff that will fit a 3-year-old to most adults. And
Okay.
I can show you. So I have these in 3 colors, but so having an earmuff that has such a big fit range,
Yeah.
you know, every product I pick that I'm recommending for tracks, you know, I've been to tracks. I know they don't want to deal with a lot of inventory, and, you know, they're not always going to have the same person working in the souvenir shop. So I really try and make it easy. And I also, when tracks buy our products, I also give them signage, like complimentary, and I'll customize it if they want. So, because one of the things I've noticed at tracks, you often have to go looking, where is it? It would be
Yes.
great if it was sold in multiple places.
Yeah.
And so the signage, not only would it be better or helpful to all the spectators, but I think it could generate more money for the tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Well, and like myself, I rarely go to the souvenir stand when
yeah,
I go to the track, because I go to the same tracks all the time and I just don't. And even if I was going to a new track, I wouldn't necessarily go to the souvenir stand, which is typically where they would sell those.
yeah. I think if it were up to me, I would have, when you were buying ticket, just say, hey, do you want something? Because it's like sunscreen. You don't really think about it. Like,
Yeah.
I know when the super late models are coming out because I see droves of people coming down to get hearing protection.
Yeah.
So I even think if people sell it like popcorn, go around in the sand, and you'll have people who want it.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I know people who just stop going to races because of how loud it is. But if they have access to the right thing,
Right.
it's way more enjoyable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like you don't know you need it till you see it. And then it's like, oh,
Yeah.
I think I might need that.
Yeah. You know, I've heard some people say, like, oh, I like the noise. You know, the thing is, if you put on hearing protection, don't worry, it's loud enough. You can still hear the loud noise. It won't block out everything, for sure.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's amazing. And so, do you contact the tracks then? And like, let's just say Kalamazoo Speedway's where I go.
Yeah.
They probably have nothing like that. They might have the little orange ones that you stick in, the foam ones. But so how do you get the word out to like the racetracks or the race families at tracks you don't go to?
Yeah. I've been going to some of those trade shows like Warpa and those type.
Okay.
So I've gone to a few. I've had, let's see, so when I have my booth, you know, I can talk to people, but I can't get into what I just told you. It's the people
Right.
that kind of hear my little spiel about the hear cells. I mean, it's not much, that seem to get it. And then I actually, in my classes, I actually have people put in a phone plug and like, here, try it. And most people don't get it in right. And they're like, oh, wow, it does make a difference. So,
I think the pictures, like for your booth, I'm just spitballing here,
yeah,
you know, because that's like, oh my gosh, it's
yeah,
so drastic of a change that
yeah,
I would think that would maybe draw some interest, you
yeah,
know.
you're right. And I haven't had that picture yet. But then I
Yeah.
also, people will say like, oh, we already have something. So I need to have more of a display that says some of the message that I want without,
Yeah.
yeah,
Without you having to say it over and over and over and over and over.
exactly.
Because when I had booths at PRI, it's after a while you feel like you're not being very authentic about your message because
Yeah,
you've said it 150 times
yeah,
already that day. And so it is hard, I think. And people are going from booth to booth to booth. And you know, they need to take the time. The seminars, I
yeah,
would think, would be amazing. Even at
yeah,
PRI, I think they should be doing this at PRI. Have
yeah,
you speak about it. Yeah.
yeah. I would love it. I have to say, there's more people who don't want to hear what I have to say, but I
Mhm.
think they think I'm going to tell everyone like, oh, make the mufflers quieter and wear earplugs all the time. But it's so,
That's not it at all.
no. And I'm 10 minutes away from Evergreen Speedway, who's run by Doug Hobbs. And that's where I started doing noise dose studies. And when I first asked, they were kind of, whenever someone
Leery.
talks about how loud it is, they're like, what are you doing it for?
Right.
But they knew my son Ray, so they knew I liked it loud. But I just wanted,
Yeah.
after they knew my intentions, Doug has been fabulous for letting me do my noise dose studies. In fact, I'll give you some more information of
Okay.
the noise dose. So a noise dose study, how loud does it have to be for it to affect your hearing? And it depends. The louder it is, the less time you can be around it. But you're around noise that changes level throughout the day. So if you're, let's say you owned a sawmill, you'd have to figure out who needs to be in the hearing conservation program. So you'd have an employee wear what's called a dosimeter. It's about the size of my hand, and it measures the noise levels over the workday. And if it hits 100%, or if it's 100% is the max dose you should get.
Okay.
So 100 is your cutoff point. Now, I did my first noise dose study was Kyle Lang. He was a legend driver. And keep in mind, he had custom earplugs he wore during racing. So I put the dosimeter on him for 11 hours from the time he got to the track to when he left. And I monitored what he did during the day. So I knew he was in the car from like 12 to 12:15. So, and I knew he had custom earplugs. So I was able to like reduce, like I know he had this much protection during this time. So I could really gauge what is his dose. And so I knew it would be over 100. So his was 185.
Wow.
Now, what I was able to tell him, he went and watched the sprint cars for 15 minutes after his main. And I calculated, hey, what if he would have just wore earplugs during that time? And his noise dose would have come down to 115. So what I want racers to know, not only what's going on in your what's happening in the ear, but that even if you don't wear it all the time at the track, you can make a big impact even if you wear it part of the time. If you're there during the day, you're like, oh, I should have wore it, and I'm going to be leaving in a half an hour. It's too late. It's not. So a little bit of effort can make a big difference. So if you think a lifetime of just reducing, the dose over a lifetime, 115 compared to like 185,
Yeah.
you know, and actually that's OSHA standards. When it's NIOSH, which is best practices, it's a lot higher. a lot higher.
I'm sitting here thinking, okay, so, how many times does it take you to learn a habit, right? Because this needs to become a habit. So I'm thinking that we need to start with our kids.
Exactly.
Because here's the thing. As an adult, you look in the stands, hardly anybody's wearing hearing protection. There might be some little kids whose parents have the headphones on them. So it's not something that people know or think about. They think, oh, I'm only there once a week for a couple hours, right?
Yeah.
So they don't think about it. They've grown up not doing it, even if they've been at the racetrack since they were little.
Yeah.
So especially at tracks where kids run, are places where we need to really, you,
Yes.
I'm not going to be doing it, but you know what I'm just saying, because if you start kids out wearing cute little headphones or whatever, they're not going to think anything about it when they're 50. They've done it for all their life.
Exactly. And I have to say, I do see a lot of parents making an effort to protect their kids. Another thing Doug let me experiment with is I rented hearing protection for a while at the track, and I got a good response from that. And it was mainly parents protecting their kids, which really their hearing is just as affected as them.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad I see the effort. And you know how I told you the typical red earmuffs? I mean, if you were a little girl, would you want to wear those or would you want to wear these?
Right. Exactly.
And I've been at places where I had like an earmuff display, and I had some real flashy orange ones, and there was a little boy just eyeing them. So I gave it to him, and he, they're excited. And then if parents model it, that would be great.
Yeah.
Because think of the hunting and target shooting population. It is just a norm there. And you'll see pictures of men all the time wearing, it's just a standard thing.
It's just part of their outfit.
Yeah. And so I would love it. What I'd love is all the tracks to have the right products available. And they don't have to have many, the right products. And then people just understand a little bit of what I told you. And I think that alone can make a big difference. Now,
can I ask like price range? Because people are going to be, you pay to get into races, and you pay for your food. And then now you want me to buy headphones? You see where I'm going?
Absolutely.
Let's tell them a little bit about why it's a good value. First of all, protect your hearing.
Yes.
That should be number one.
Yeah. So these I think are $16.99.
Okay.
And
reasonable.
Then and then and the baby ones are $15.99. I really and I wholesale to the tracks, and it's up to them how much they want to mark it up. I would really I found a good product that I could offer, I think, at a reasonable price, because I don't want hearing protection to be, too expensive. And, then there's the remember to take it the next time, and then having to buy another one. But again, it's partly habit, make the kids excited about it. And then, but that's one of the reasons why I'm looking into like a rental program. Yeah. These are really easy. So yeah, I experimented that with at Evergreen Speedway, and it was a lot of people really liked renting them because then they don't have to remember. So,
or do like I do. I have my race bag, and it has my sweatshirt and just certain things that I always take to the races, wipes, like, for my hands and stuff. And Just always leave them in there.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. There's another earmuff. I call that like the three things I tell a track I recommend them to carry are the baby ones, and this one that has the huge fit range. And then the last one is the push to fit earplug.
Right.
So those are called like the essentials. But then I have what I call like the fan favorites, or for track staff.
Yeah.
And do you know what electronic earmuffs are that hunters use? Okay.
No.
So when you put on hearing protection and it blocks out noise because of the material it's made out of, that's called passive. Okay. So imagine you're a hunter and you want to protect yourself from the gunshot, but you still want to hear the critters all around you. So when you put these on, the first passive, but then you turn on the volume control and you can hear around you. So imagine at the race, well, I'm getting ahead of myself. Anyway, so the racer, the hunter, they turn on the volume, they can hear what they're trying to hunt. And when they shoot the gun, anything above 83 dB, the microphone shut off and they're passive hearing protection. The noise goes away and now you can hear again. So another annoying thing about earplugs at the racetrack is it's not always noisy. So think if you had the foam ones, I had a husband say my wife wore the earplugs, but then when we wanted to talk, she had those darn earplugs in, so imagine
or the announcers talking, or they're telling you, you want to be able to hear that stuff.
Yeah. So if you have these on, you can have a conversation with people next to you. And then as soon as the cars come out, they go out. Or there's so many track staff that could find these beneficial. And I'll tell you, I was at, these sell really well if other spectators see people wearing them. And again, I went to a track. I gave them some signage, and they had these in their souvenir shop. And there happened to be some kettle corn people there, and they usually had these, but they forgot them. So I gave them some of these to wear. And they said all night, people were asking, hey, where'd you get those? I want some. And they didn't know they were available at the souvenir shop. There could have been so many that were sold. And that's all it takes is seeing other people wear them. And
absolutely.
The wanting, just letting people know what to wear. Now, honestly, I don't have a lot of tracks carrying my product. I've learned that a lot of tracks, they're run by people who are doing so many things. The last thing they want to think about is something like this. I would love to have a track that would want to be on board with me about carrying all the products, putting all the signage. We have social media content to put on, because I'd love to show that that people like it, and also it's worth that it could generate income to the track.
Right.
Yeah. But again, I have to find the right track. I should say any track that would be willing to do that. I'm willing. Like I said, it's hard to find that because they're wearing so many hats.
They are.
Yeah. And they feel like they've got this covered. And like I said, every track I see makes it. I've never been to a track that didn't make some kind of effort. They just don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
well, and the thing of it is, and so I'm going to play devil's advocate a little bit. The thing of it is, if you run a track, you got to have so many things, like you said, like car count and weather. And, if you're running the concession stand through the track and all those things, right. And tickets and people working, and, people aren't showing up for work. They deal with all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so you're looking at the list and what's at the bottom,
Yeah.
and so it's kind of at the bottom. And
Yeah.
I hate to say it. And we need
Yeah.
to move it up. We need to
Yeah.
get it moved up closer to the
Yeah.
top, because this is a
And
lifelong deal.
yeah. And most people think they have it covered because they have something,
Right.
but they don't for the babies, or a lot of them don't. And, but like, I want to make it simple for them. Say, hey, 3 products, you got everyone covered. You don't have to worry about it. And they're not really expensive.
No.
So,
yeah, I think it's so important. And, we can't talk about it enough, really, until we get people to understand the importance of it. I mean, I'm guilty. I don't wear hearing protection when I go to the track.
yeah. But
I just
you
never thought, I never really thought about it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I've worn the little push ones, like when I go watch drag racing. Now that is really loud to me.
That is where these electronic muffs are perfect, because it's just a short time that the noise is on, and then you don't have to take them on and off. They really having the right hearing protection really does improve the spectator experience for a lot of people, more than I think people realize. Another kind of story I have, I was selling earmuffs at a track, and there was a mom and dad and a little girl. She was like 6 years old. And I just gave them a pair of earmuffs, and she was excited because they were pretty. And they usually do the foam plugs. And afterwards they said, oh, thank you so much, because we enjoyed it so much more. We didn't have to keep fiddling with the earplugs to put them in her ear.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
we need to keep pushing your message.
Yeah.
As much as we can. And you and I will talk about that after we're done with the recording a little bit too. So let's go to this. Where can people reach out and find how to get the protection or learn more about it? Where should they go to reach out to you?
Yeah. Well, right now I have products and a wholesale program that's online at auditorydefense.com.
Okay.
And then I'm just transitioning the company as a nonprofit, because I feel like there's so much I want to do and I need help. And I within the next year, I'm hoping to have a lot more educational content, like what I just showed you about the hair cells. I want to have that on there. I also like to have social media content created, which is easy, but I also want to find something that will get someone's attention. So so my goal is to get the content on the website and on social media, and then that's one of the things I want to do on the website. But if anyone, I'm available if anyone wants me to talk to their
track owner, promoter.
Or even the parents of quarter midget, they meet monthly, or if they just want again, if anyone's going to listen to me, it's parents. So my website, or excuse me, my email address is Anissa@auditorydefense.com.
Okay.
So and
anyone we're going to get the word out. I know we are, because this is a start. And then you can, when we're done and I send you the link to share the recording, you can share it everywhere you want to share it. And it's just one step at a time. But we're going to get the word out because it's so important. And especially with the kids that are racing, let's get them started young, to where it's no big deal to wear headphones and you don't look funny or weird if you have headphones and nobody else does. You be the one to start the trend.
Yes. I love that. I would love to
put stickers on your earphones or whatever.
Yes. I would love to go to a racetrack and see more people wearing hearing protection than not. That's that would be exciting for me. I'll also say the earmuffs I carry, tracks can get custom ones also. It's a quantity of 5. Yeah, they could brand them. Yeah, the minimum quantity is 500, but it's that's a great way to also get some promotion. So Evergreen Speedway's done that. Yeah,
because you can wear them at every track, not just the track that's promoting them.
Exactly.
Yeah. Or find here's an idea for a racetrack. Find a good sponsor, somebody that is one of your best sponsors, and get them to put their logo on the headphones.
Yeah.
The ear, and then, that's good for them instead of just a billboard on the backstretch, right?
Exactly.
Do something different.
Yeah. And, and the fact that these will fit 90% of the people that come through the door,
and they're reasonably priced.
Yes. Yep.
And they come in pink, probably pink, blue, and black, or whatever, red.
Actually, if it's custom, there's even more colors.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot more colors.
Okay. Well, there you go. We're promoting and we're marketing today as we talk. So, Anissa, thank you for taking time to be on. I really appreciate this. And we're going to have to do a little bit more, some hearing podcasts throughout the year to kind of keep people in, remember to do this and that kind of thing. Cause it takes 7 times for you to promote what you're doing for people to really get it. And so this is one. And so we'll do some more. Yeah.
You got my brain thinking already. I'll be ready.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for being on, and just hold on as we end the recording.
Okay. Thanks.
Race weekends move fast, but showing appreciation doesn't have to be hard. With send-out cards, you can send a digital thank you with a photo and a message in seconds, right from your phone. Thank your crew, your fans, even your competitors, because good sportsmanship looks good on and off the track. Unlimited card sends for just $10 a month. So start sharing the love at sendoutcards.com/53240. That's sendoutcards.com/53240.
Start your engines. This is the Women's Motor Fun Network. From dirt track nights to the bright race lights, from the garage to victory lane, women are rising, chasing the dream, with horsepower running through their veins. Women's Motorsports Network, hear those engines roar. Stories of courage, speed, and heart like you've never heard before. Fuel her future, fuel her dreams. Every lap we celebrate. Women's Motorsports Network.